Hi, Mike's Carburetor Parts. We're rebuilding a Carter YH one-barrel carburetor. Already did a video on taking it apart. We've cleaned it, blew out all the passages to make sure there wasn't anything clogged up. And I did other videos on the different circuits, how to adjust the float, how the accelerator pump works, and those kind of things. So I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to put it back together more or less, and it should go fairly quickly that way. Now, I did take off the choke assembly because I didn't do it in the tear down, but I went ahead and took it off because there's a little rubber grommet that fits right in here. That's for where the vacuum, your vacuum hole right here runs up, and the vacuum in here helps pull the hot air from the hot air tube here into the choke to heat it up. There's also this brass piston here. You want to make sure it moves in and out freely, and if not, you either have to take it apart here, which is not easy to do, or you can, if you don't want to take it apart, remove this plug and clean it out real good in there, and then you'll have to find a plug to fit it, expansion plug. You need the inside diameter. You got to match that up. Okay, so let me put this back in here. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, it should just be fine. So, so you get some purpose cloth in there to polish it up to get a clean surface. That might help, but it's the stuff that crocus cloth. It's like a super. You can get it at hardware stores. It's a super fine polishing cloth. All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, and this is how your lever hooks onto it. Okay. Now, as far as the now, if you don't have new screws for this and a good tap and die set and all that, then I would not take this apart. I'd let her go, because the chances of breaking the screws are pretty good, because they're very small. You got in the right way, that, you know, this choke has to move freely. Come on. You might want to put some Loctite on these screws if you do take them out, so they don't come out into the engine. Alright, so that gets the choke back on there, and you can see how it's put together in case you have to take it off. So let's move on. I did not take the main jet out in this case, but you should have taken it out so you can clean. Here's the main jet passageway right here. Goes up into the bore, and it's already in there right there. And while I'm seeing it, let's put the check bell in the main discharge here. Like I say, I did a video on how that works.
Sure. all the
Get it back
registers.
together here.
We actually don't stock any complete 2 barrels. There's a custom rebuilder in California called J&J Carburetor.
Okay.
He may be able to help you out. You're welcome, thank you.
All right, we got the auxiliary pump on here. Let's put the spring on here with the clip, like so. And I like to get the screws in first because I want to make sure the holes in the diaphragm are lined up okay. Okay, and then this will point this way in the bowl. You want to make sure these this hole here gets lined up, so pretty easy to figure out which way that should go. Okay, there's that, and let's go ahead and put the metering rod stuff together here. Use this, there's a thin and a thick one. Use a thick one on this. Little rubber gasket goes on here, just helps it keep from gas sloshing around, and it goes on just like that. Then let's see. Then we're going to put our spring on it, like so. And then a clip to hold the spring on. So I have misplaced here. Oh, where are you? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to use this and see if I can get it on without blowing this. Now, originally these things had 2 springs on them, but we replaced them with one. They've been replaced with one for years. They're just a little bit stiffer spring. Works just fine. Okay, so you can see how it works. I did a video on how to test this to make sure it's all going to work, and we've done all that. The next thing, before I go too far and forget, you need to put in this little rod linkage right here, right now. And it goes in this and folds down like that in that slot. Okay, you've got to put that in there, or you probably won't get it in otherwise. So let's get our gasket on here. Okay, and oops, goes like this. And this is the throttle body. There's 3 screws that hold it on. Why that don't want to start. Try this one here. I got this one in. Wait a minute. Something ain't looking right here. Get this back off. Aha. And the gasket on wrong. Okay. There we go. That would have been ugly. Good thing it didn't go together. That throttle body gasket is a good place for a vacuum leak if you are looking for some. Alright, let's get this linkage hooked up here. And it only goes on one way, so oops, I turn it over. And the trick, of course, is getting linkage in the holes.
Mike's carburetor
Come on,
first.
get in there. What is the problem?
Do you have a carburetor number? Those are up on the air horn. Are those stamped on the side of the air horn?
Boy, this thing is fighting me. There we go. Okay. I don't know what his problem was. Get that screw tight.
67154 is your list number. That's our
Alright.
126.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we do. We basically
Something
offer
is wrong
discounts
here.
now to shops and removers.
What did I do? Oh, I left part of it off. Darn it.
Oh, yeah.
Pick it back up. Okay, so when these videos, I always forget stuff because trying to concentrate on doing the video. Alright, so we got to put the rest of the metering rod on here. The metering rod is here, and the clip, I got it clipped on already, and it goes down, you know, line up the metering rod into the main jet, goes on just like that. I didn't think that looked right to start with. Okay, so now you know how not to put it together. I could just start the video all over again, but I'm not going to do that.
It's probably the name on the credit card.
By the way, this is the part right here you bend if you can adjust the metering rod, and I did do a video on that.
Sorry, my
And and that stupid little retainer again. Having trouble keeping track of that thing. Where are you? Here it is. Right where I put it. Okay. That looks better. Okay. All right. All right, good to go there. Now, okay, I think let's put the idle tube in here, make sure it's nice and clear through there. These are not available, so don't lose it. Okay. Different screwdriver, that wasn't very good. Okay. Okay. So there's the slow idle screw, slow idle tube in there. And all right, let's put the float together. The float both stuff. And then we've got the seat, and put the gasket on there. Get it in there. I like to use a big screwdriver so it doesn't ding it up too much.
Yeah, well, about your...
Although you can mess it up out here, it's not a big deal. It's the hole you got to worry about, where the needle sits in it. And we use a spring-loaded needle. Goes in like that, and then your little spring, very little. Watch out you don't lose it. And if you haven't noticed, I use these big cookie sheets to keep all my parts in one place, because they can roll off the bench pretty easy into the what I call the black hole. Yeah, you put them dropping on the floor and you never find them again. Okay. I did a video on how to adjust this float, so I'm not going to do that again. And let's put the gasket on here.
The discount is on your account, so you'll see it at final checkout.
There we go. And let's see. Take a quick peek here, make sure I didn't forget something. I usually do. Alright. Get the screws back in here.
Okay. It's Gabrielle. You're welcome, thank you.
Now, almost anybody can rebuild a YH. The trick is, I always tell people, rebuilding is easy until you run into a problem. When you run into a problem, that's when experience helps. So it's important to know how the stuff works, and that's why I did those other videos on how the float works and how the accelerator pump works. Accelerator pump is the biggest thing. So that if you have a problem, you kind of know how it's supposed to do, what it's supposed to do. Okay. All right, let's put our little filter in. The closed end goes down. That's going to keep the junk from getting into the needle and seat. That's the important thing. And a little wrench here to tighten it. I'll throw the idle mixture screw in it. Okay, you screw it down until it seats gently. Turn it out about a turn and a half or so, and that's where you'll start. Okay, let's see, let's get this on here. Okay, if I remember right. Let's see, this will go. Another one here. This is a part, the stuff I always forget, how these went on. That's why you always take pictures when you tear them apart, in case you have to refer to it. I do often, no matter how many I take apart. Okay. And I quit rebuilding like 5 years ago, so you know, it's starting to forget some of this stuff. Okay. So that goes in like that. Remember the old erector sets? That's what this reminds me of. Alright, that's got to get in there between there. There we go. Alright. Easier than you know how. Okay. So, when you put on full throttle and that choke is closed, you can see what this lever does. It pulls the choke down. Now remember, we set the idle, we pulled this idle screw out when we were messing with the metering rod, so just turn it back so that it touches the lever, barely touches it, and then give it another quarter turn or so. That should get it started. And then set your idle as per your specifications. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's different for different cars. So look at your you should have a motor's manual for your car. Or somewhere you should have specification on the idle. Alright, so here's the thermostat. We do have electrics for these, by the way, that you can adapt. And generally there's no marks on these thermostats these days. They're more universal than they used to be. So what I do is I turn it until the top just closes, and then I'll give another eighth of an inch or so. And I just want to get a little bit of pressure to open that up. And these things didn't have, oh, here it is. There's a couple of ways of doing this. Get over here so you can see what I'm doing. On some you may have these right here. Either way it works. Just a retainer. So if you want to test your choke before you put it on, is just put it in, run the hot water in your sink and run some hot water over it, and you'll see that spring tighten up or loosen up, whichever way it goes, and you know, about a 1/4 inch or so. All right, so there we got it all together. All we got to do is look and make sure I didn't forget something here. Yeah, nope, I think we got it all. Alright, so there you go. I hope this helps you get yours back together and rebuilt. And we do appreciate your business. Thank you for watching.